the latest video get a lot of eyeballs, and people have a lot of questions. And one thing that took my attention was like people were asking how to create MD files. Do you spot some patterns as well? Like some people were asking the same type of questions.
The few common patterns, I would say on the feedback, and I also checked few other videos on what people are building.
Same subject.
Which one?
Same subject, like Claude Design.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over the Claude Design. By the way, some people, most people did the same. Like they have back-to-back videos of like model release, followed by the design, because the design relatively come quite quicker right after the model change. So the model change videos are a bit fell behind. Anyways, for the design, I would say similarities on the styling, and it's quite similar to Claude's own styling. And if you remember what we built, that's also a bit of like if you put it on a spectrum, it's kind of closer to the Claude's own styling, I would say.
My take is I'm quite impressed with the first iteration. So this is the first iteration of this model, Claude Design. We still did not see any update. It's the first iteration. Second thing is it took some pattern, some identity from the snapshot that we gave and did it pretty much a great job in the first iteration. So my expectation is it will do much better over time. So I kind of agree with people. There can be some patterns like lookalikes, but it will sooner or later get better over time.
The thing is, we already have lookalikes on the web design.
Web
design. If you see through the skeleton, like the UX architecture, that's pretty much streamlined naturally. We may talk about this on another podcast probably.
Yeah.
In the context of like what is after web design. We both have some ideas.
Oh yeah, that's a very future subject.
Yeah, like what comes after website itself actually. But as far as I see, over the close to a decade, website, like let's say half a decade, like 4, 5, 6 years, websites are coming quite closer to each other in terms of how they work.
And especially like if you look at the templates, let's talk about the Framer templates, for example.
Or Webflow.
Or Webflow templates, or the templates that are like, they say premium. They all look alike.
Yeah. There are quite boutique
ones as well.
Boutique and unique ones as well.
But they are rare, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's been such a long time since I don't see any like, wow, that really deserved that money that they were asking.
A second common subject I noticed, both from the videos and the comments, including ours, is the usage.
The usage of?
Cloud credits.
Oh yeah, but that's also a learning curve from humanity. Like this is the first thing, and you should not have a lot of expectations if you pay only $20.
Fair, yeah.
Right. And
what you pay, what you get.
And it's like an assistant that knows a lot of stuff, but doesn't have a lot of experience and doesn't know you a lot. So I wouldn't expect to pay $20 and expect too much.
Fair. Like for what you get for 20 quid is really, really, really valuable.
Yeah.
I would say. It's fine. On the other hand, you may come across this on different platforms as well. When you start to use it as a team in a company, like maybe a small to mid-size or enterprise level, it still brings absolute value if you use Cloud Code or GitHub Copilot or similar tool in a bit more on a more professional basis. When like 15, 20, 25 engineers and designers, teams of 30, 40 start using it. I don't say this as a negative thing, by the way, but this is something new. Like the AI
Exactly.
bills, the usage bills is like, yeah, okay, everything is fast, the leaps are significant, but the credits and usage bills are also something, a new line on the expenses or whatever it's
Also,
called.
yeah, if you are getting, let's say, someone full time that is helping you doesn't have a lot of experience, right? That's also a cost. So that's totally fine for me, to be honest. And we will learn how to optimize and use it in a more sustainable way, let's say. Otherwise, some people in the comments, I saw something like they run out of their entire week of usage, which is crazy.
What I'm curious about is, like usually something comes like a subscription or something like, let's say, something completely irrelevant like Uber, right? Like once they dominate the market, they change the fees drastically. Like we say it's 20 quid now, like in a year, do we see it as a, now it's 100 quid and everybody using it and you kind of have to. Would it be the same pattern as the other pricing models? We will
Depends. I
see.
mean, it will also add first. It will get better over time, and I think the token will be cheaper. Yeah, it can be more higher value. It can be 100 quid. I don't know, but the value that you are extracting from it will be orders of magnitude more than today.
Fair.
Or
Yeah.
as a human, you will decide, okay, maybe this is not for me. I already tested out, and I'd rather do it alone. That's also another pattern that
No,
people might
from now
take.
on, it's inevitable. Like we will be we are already using it on daily basis. Like we do it together. So at the moment, it gives us quite a lot of leverage.
That's completely a different subject. I mean, we have lots of things to talk about in terms of leverage for a business. One thing we should be paying attention is more automation. Like when we optimize all the boring bits of each tasks, you have more time to think about the most important thing, which is creativity, decision making, storytelling. I don't know. What do you think?
No, for sure. First of all, it allows you to iterate quicker. You see, like we did that
The
this prompt.
progress. Yep.
It took like what, less than 10 minutes, probably around 5 minutes that we get that. Imagine like 10 years ago, we were working on this gig brief, whatever you call it. Imagine how long would it take us to come with this subject, and if the client says like, can you come up with another?
Oh yeah.
It will be again, so the client and knows that as well. So their expectation is also increasing.
Yeah, time has changed because right now people are less impatient, which is quite normal. And yeah, you need to act fast on. But I think that's really some people continue to say something like the designers are dead. I completely disagree with that. Everyone will be good enough. So, what makes you stand out from the good enough? So now you have all the tools with $20 to play and be good enough. This is your kind of obligation to put your effort and your take on the design aspect of things.
Also, look, when they say that, it, I agree with you on that subject, but it may be that as of today's context. But we both come from a graphic design background, and imagine how many times we evolved in terms of the designer subject expertise or sub branch to call it. So maybe it kills the design as of today's context, but let's see what it will bring up. It would open new
Other opportunities.
other opportunities and other paths for us to upskill for sure. That I'm also quite curious to.
Yeah.
We like when we started, there was lots of work for graphic design. Over the time, the demand pretty much vanished. Nobody is looking for a graphic designer. The rates fell and etc.
Yeah.
But then it kind of struck back. Like even today, like if you would like to have a decent graphic designer, you need to pay.
Of course, some people
Because there are no graphic designers.
Some people are thriving in graphic design, but they stand out to make a difference. I have lots of names. If I find them, I'll put them somewhere that you should really pay attention and see what they are doing differently because they are not good enough. They are more than good enough.
Yeah. So let's see where we are headed, but super excited. Like it excites me more than it scares me.
Exactly. Like we should take it as a blueprint, as a starting point. In some cases, it can be a good starting point. Or in some projects, I think we should put our own personal perspective first, if it does not help you, and then see as a secondary option to see, I did not think that way, kind of iteration. And also one thing to pay attention is Claude made a huge difference by asking you questions. Like when you give your design system in a brief, our example was quite easy, like copy it in the same context, but the same styling. But if you give a very creative brief, it asks you like quite a lot of questions, which then you can think as a creative, I did not think that way. That could open another door, another opportunity for
It
your
works
design also.
pretty much like a designer. So we also like and want to ask lots of questions. Sometimes it's boring for the client or the stakeholder. But as you may remember, like the initial engagement with the client is all about questions.
80-20 rule, like 80% of the time questions doesn't have a lot of value, or same goes to the answers. Like answers, you don't get what you want from those answers 80% of the time, but 20% would dominate the rest of the 80%.
Yeah, no, correct.
So yeah, I'm also pretty excited because I know, first, I know what I don't know. Secondly, I can kind of connect the dots and see how I can take that boring design or same pattern type of design and take it to the next level. One thing that I would like to come back to, this MD file thing, is funny enough, it's the easiest thing in the world to create an MD file, just for your info. You basically ask first, MD file is a markdown text file, that's it. You basically ask AI to create an MD file in a basic text format so that it kind of clarify the conversation between you and the AI. So I did the brief basically in the same manner. Like I ask, I want to do this, help me write an MD file, and it writes it for you. So I want you to test it out. Ask anything. It can be a brief or something. Ask any type of AI to create it into an MD file. That's it.
Would you agree if I say when you talk to AI, it's equally important to say, I want you to do this and I don't want you to do this.
Yes and no.
Clarifying the don't do's is all, I think is also important.
Yes and no. Some people put a lot of things like no, 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 no. One thing to clarify is ask what you want, but secondly, give real life examples and say what you want to achieve with that task. Just like as if you are telling to an assistant. And also, yeah, you can add like 3, 4 no-nos, but that's it. People give like a lot of don't do this and don't do that. So what now?
Yeah, but I mean, but yes, correct. In my case, for example, first I write what I want as clear as possible. After that, in the same prompt or the text files, I add consider this, avoid adding the limitations. It helps. I believe it helps
It
AI a lot.
does.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so we will do certainly more tests on this. First, to learn. Second, to implement what we learn in our business. And third, teach and share with you guys. So, yeah, stay around.
Have a nice one.
Have a great week.